Hey, so we just met with a phenomenal young man, Julian. He is a partner in Vento and Sons, and he is starting up new restaurants coming up the next couple of years. Not only that, he's 24 years old, doing phenomenal things in his life, not just financially, but also spiritually. He's giving back to his community. You're going to see great things coming from him.
You have reached your destination on the right-hand side.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I first opened the restaurant, I was 23, and it didn't cross my mind that it would be really, really cool to document like a 23-year-old opening a restaurant, and what that looks like, because that's not something you generally hear about, and so really, she was the one who pushed me to do it, and like really was the mastermind behind it, because like when she put it all into perspective, I was like, oh my gosh, like it's a really big missed opportunity, but it's okay because like obviously it's not gonna stop here,
I think there's so much being left on the table because people are so isolated, looking out for themselves. But if you build a community, man, there's nothing you can't do together, because where you fall short, somebody else can pick up the slack,
Right.
So I always believe that you bless people as much as possible, so that whenever you're in need, that's going to come back around. Might not be from everybody, but it'll be the one you really invest in. You know what I mean?
I love mentoring. That's probably my number one thing. I love, just hearing people's passions, their dreams, their goals, and how can I just be some little part of that. Whether it just be a motivational piece, just being somebody that says, hey, I believe in you, because I think a lot of people don't get that in this world of negativity.
Really cool stats, not to interrupt, and this is one thing that I think it sticks out to me like crazy. It's unreal. So 50% of his employees have been with him since the very beginning, which is totally unheard of.
Yeah.
And literally every one of his employees are like in love with him. You know what I mean? And so like I say that because it's like, the restaurant industry, like
high turnover.
Yeah. And so like he just took a lot of his employees out, for dinner over at the Italian restaurant. So
I come from, so you're not from Houston. There's a place called Pasadena. It's called Stinkadena, right? It's not low income, it's no income, okay? It's really kind of rough area. My dad drew a line in the sand and said, I don't want my family to live like this anymore. So he moved out, right? Because he drew that line in the sand, I was able to draw another line in the sand and say, I don't want my family to live like this. I want it to move forward. So everything that we do is all stable from preparation, all right? So you have a great foundation, and that's all you really need to start something. If you don't have a stable foundation, then it won't work, because whenever you build, you have 30% of your budget goes to your foundation. If not, then no matter what you build on it, it's going to fall anyway, So people care more about your story, so story over business. Everything that you do from here on out, if this is what you want to do, and make sure this is what you want to do. At any point in time, you can stop, sure, but you're going to invest so much time and effort and money into this. Make sure this is where you want to go. Everything that you do now has to look like this. Your business, story over business. So you talk about your business this much, but you tell how you got there this much, all right? So it's called the 80-20 rule, okay? So 80% is character, 80% is understanding, 80% is heart, okay? 80% story means that you have to find a reason to find a heart. That's my heart. So what does the heart look like? Kids and development, okay? So you need to be a mentor. You need to start a program. You need to start going to schools, stuff like that. Reaching out to schools, telling them that you'll talk to the kids about how to cook, how to start a business, tell them where you came from, stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you don't, then you lose your story. And if you're just recording yourself talking, saying, hey, so I did this, That's not important. What's important is third party. Oh, I believe that's how you spell validation. Third party validation.
Yeah.
Okay? But the most important thing you can do is be intentional.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just wake up, hey, what am I going to do today? You make your whole month know what you want to do. You don't want to act like who you are now. You want to act like who you're going to be in a year from now.
Right.
All right? So talk with the authority from a year from now.
Right.
Talk with the investment from a year from now, you know?
Yeah.
And that gives people the understanding that you're not going to be a flash in the pan. You have direction.
Mm-hmm.
People follow leaders who are honest and involved more than always right. You know what I mean? So as long as you're those things to these kids or the people you're developing, you can document that and they're going to appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
But to inspire other people, you have to document it. So realize when you document, it's not for you,
Right.
it's for the people watching to inspire them to do other things,
Right.
you know? And that's why I say leave pride out of it, you know? I don't care if you have to give stuff away, I don't care if you do stuff for free.
Mm-hmm.
The most important thing you do is get other people to notice the
Right.
things you're doing.
Right.
Because like I said, you're playing the long game, you're not sprinting, you know?
Mhm.
As long as this is the path you want. If
Yeah.
you get on this path, you're like, look, I don't have the time or energy for this, then don't play the sprint. Start charging and stuff like that, sure. I mean, eventually it fizzles out because something else comes on and it's cheaper or whatever. You have to go out and attack the day. This is what I'm doing today, this is what we'll talk about. And there's a lot of regurgitation. So there's a lot of one or two guys saying the same thing over and over and over in different ways. And that's okay, just as long as it's not the same three things,
Yeah.
you throw in the variety,
Yeah.
but your core message is still going to be the same thing. You love people, you love God, you love food,
Right.
you know? As long as you keep that, no matter what's in your content,
Yeah.
it's enjoyable. I think what happens in this world is we get so comfortable,
Yeah.
we guard ourselves, and we forget about everybody else.
Right.
That's none of my business.
Yeah.
The exact opposite,
Yeah.
that is your business.
Yeah.
We have such a greater plan than just to pay bills and die.
Yeah.
You know, we're called to something much greater. And I think that if we're not living our part out of faith, that we need Christ to bail us out at the end,
Yeah.
then we're not living to our fullest. You know, because I mean, I do things that I'm like, Jesus, you're the only one that can make this come through,
Right.
you know? And then he shows up right there, you know? The hardest part about faith is the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And a lot of people find that out through Christians walking into their lives, you know? The hard part is all those other Christians walking out,
Yeah.
you know? So we have such a big number that we have to overcome, and that's why we have to be so expressive of who he is in our lives.
Yep.
You know, that's really cool, man.
Hey vlog, I can't believe today happened. Remember, this is episode number 1. You just saw great stuff that we're doing with Beto and Sons. This guy inspired me to want to do even more with local chefs and local entrepreneurs in the Dallas area, because that's exactly where we are. The best part about this is that this doesn't have to stay local. We can go wherever you want us to go. The most amazing thing is whenever you get out there, you become an entrepreneur, you start making your own schedule, you start giving this world what God's put inside of you, there's nothing that can stop you. The only thing you have to do is put foot to faith and get out there and do it. Check you next time, vlog.